Today we're going to be testing out the DJI Neo 2, the latest portable follow me drone from DJI, and it's really quite good. It's actually really tiny, very lightweight, really robust. It's got these full propeller guards all the way around. That means that you can fly into trees, you can fly into branches, walls, and it's not going to fall out the sky and crash. There's a really good gimbal protector on the front that keeps this nice and secure. So if you do want to chuck it in a bag, in a pocket, you're not going to damage the gimbal, damage the camera. And this one here that I've got is the Fly More package. So it actually comes with this Wi-Fi transmitter onto the back. What this means is you can fly it without any controller at all. You can just use your phone and have on-screen displays to get it set up and flying. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to get this in the air, go for a quick run around, see how it responds to the woods, the following me, tracking me. The light isn't particularly great. It's also raining a little bit and there's a slight breeze, so it's going to be a good test for it. I'm going to see what our first thoughts are. So here we can see that there is many different modes in here I can choose to pick. I'm just going to go with follow for now. You can change the angle, you can change how far or close it wants to be, the height. So we're set up with just medium flat following behind me. And then all I need to do, press start. 3, 2, 1. And off we go. The nice thing is with my phone, I can just pull that out and then with no effort at all, just adjust where the drone wants to be. I can even slide the little slider around to make it move around to the side. Really quick and easy to get some different angles. Let's go. When you're done, you just have to put your palm out and the drone will come and land right in your hand. Really, really helpful. Actually really easy to use, surprisingly easy to use, and feels kind of foolproof really. Anyway, you can also, via this transmitter, fly completely freestyle using your phone as a control, like with on-screen sticks. So we'll give that a quick go now and test out some of the other modes in a bit. This is called Dolly Zoom, where it's going to make this really cool parallax effect. Completely hands-free, entirely doing it for me. Just another of the many modes on the DJI where you can just press a button and it goes away and takes the kind of content you want. And then when you're done, you just come back and land on your hand. And then when you want to change your battery, they're actually really tiny. They're literally pocket sized. They weigh nothing, super small, super light. Pop one out, next one back in again, and you're ready to go. So I actually really rate this. It's worked remarkably well, even given very poor light and rain. Quite excited to see how the footage turns out from this. It's a tiny, tiny little camera, but it does claim that it does 4K, so we'll see how that looks. Before I get into that stage though, I'm gonna try and quickly relocate, maybe get out on the bike this afternoon and see some of the other features, because you can control this completely without any phone, any controller at all. I've come out today to test out the Neo 2 in some slightly more challenging conditions. There's a little bit more wind in the air, which might affect this small drone because it's quite lightweight. And I'm going to be mountain biking, so the actual subject's going to be a lot faster, more dynamic, quick changes of movements. So we'll see how this gets on. You can also fly this drone without any phone or remote at all. There's a small built-in screen on the front here and some buttons on the side. So you can configure the shooting mode you want and change the settings and then do it all completely remotely. So that's what I'm going to try and do today when you're in a scenario where you don't really want to have your phone out all the time. You want to just be able to get the drone and just get it to follow you.
Selfie shot, droney, circle, rocket, follow.
Once I've set up all of the settings on the screen, it's really as simple as just pushing the button on the side.
Follow, 3, 2, 1.
And it'll take off. Let's see how this goes. So another great feature with this drone is that you can control it with hand gestures. You don't need to get your phone or control out, you can just hold your palm up and then move it around and the drone will respond to where you want to put it. You can move it to the side with two hands, you can move it further away, reposition, and then you're ready to go again. Just finished importing everything off the Neo 2, which is done via a USB-C cable on the back here. There's actually no SD card slot on this drone, so you're entirely reliant on the internal storage, which is set at 49 gigabytes. It's not actually too bad. The footage size is about 500 megabytes for a minute, so there's plenty of storage on there for an hour, hour and a half. You're not going to run out unless you're really, really neglecting, formatting and clearing it out. Now, the footage itself has come out really good actually. The exposure and the white balance are done nicely. You've not got any real manipulation over the camera settings at all, so you can't affect the shutter speed and you can't shoot in a flatter color profile like D-Log, so you're kind of stuck with what you've got, but it is workable. You can make some small tweaks if you have to, but it looks pretty good straight out. The only thing I would say is that because it's shooting at a very fast shutter speed to handle the exposure, then you end up with quite a lot of sharp frames, and I found in some of this that it's just nice to add a little bit of motion blur to the footage afterwards. Kind of just makes it a little bit easier on the eyes. You can shoot in portrait and landscape, so here side by side you can see it without the blur as it comes straight out the camera, and then with a little bit of motion blur just to help smooth things out. Moving on to the battery life, it comes with this charger. Put 3 in here, it charges them all at once, actually really quickly. I'd guess that's because they're all quite small. Each battery is tiny, no issues at all having these in a pocket, in a bag. really not a hindrance on you at all. DJI have the flight time listed down on these at 19 minutes, but in reality it's probably a little closer to 15, which actually doesn't feel that long when you're actually out using it. By the time you've got it in the air, set up your shot and done a couple of movements, your battery's already getting low. And because you're not staring at a control the whole time, you haven't got that constant sort of feedback of what the battery level's like. So suddenly before you know it, it's on low battery and it's landing. It's not a massive issue, but it's something worth considering and always sort of being aware of. Wind is going to affect any drone that's this small and lightweight, but I would say the Neo 2 actually handles it quite well. Because it's always following you and moving, it kind of compensates and sort of reframes naturally with the wind, so you don't notice it quite as much as you do with some of the static shots where it's much more obvious that the drone is drifting around in the wind. When I've been out recording, there has been some wind around, but nothing crazy. I imagine in strong winds it would be really difficult, but in calm weather and up to sort of like a medium type wind, I think it's fine if it's following you and moving around. Static shots, yeah, a little bit more struggle with those. The drone does do a great job of following you, especially from behind, where it's almost always perfect. It'll go around trees, dodge obstacles really nicely, and I think it would only do better if the light was a bit stronger and maybe if there were leaves on the trees. When it's ahead of you or to the side and you change direction, the drone can't really predict that, so it will then fall out of its sort of tracking pattern, and then it'll have to work to fly around you to try and get back to its original composition. If it's a small adjustment in movement, it's not too big an issue, but if you're turning quite sharp corners, the drone never really gets a chance to catch up again. It makes for some cool sort of different cinematic footage, but it means you can't always guarantee the exact angle that you want. From behind, it works really well, but it's just something to consider from the other angles. And it's when it's frantically flying to try and catch up and get back ahead that it seems to crash the most. Now, the crashes are fine. The drone has probably crashed maybe 24 times just out whilst I've been filming, and it's absolutely fine. No damage, no issues at all. The propeller guards do a really great job of keeping it all stable, and when it does detect a crash, it usually just lands wherever it is. If it can't stay flying, it will just land. That created some issues as I spent a lot of time having to jump off the path into wet, boggy terrain to retrieve the drone, or fishing out of trees. But as long as you're aware of the strengths and weaknesses of the drone, you can probably avoid most of this. If you're in a place where you think there's a chance of it crashing regularly, maybe just fly from behind. Now, it would be great if there was a way it could notify you that the drone has stopped tracking you or has crashed, because there were times when I was both running and riding that I would suddenly be aware that the drone wasn't with me anymore, and I'd have to retrace my steps to find it. It's not too much of an issue when you're out walking or running and you can always hear the drone buzzing along behind you, but when I was moving fast with a mountain bike helmet on, I wasn't always aware of how close the drone to me was. If it was really close, I'd hear it, but a lot of the time kind of didn't know it was there. I just had to trust that it was following me. Occasionally I'd get to a point where I'd slow down or stop and realise that I'd lost it. There isn't any way on the app of finding its last known location, so it's really a case of just walking back up the trail, refreshing the Wi-Fi until it syncs, and then you know, right now it's within Wi-Fi range. I just have to keep going until I find out where it is. Once you've gotten used to how it does perform in various different scenarios though, I'm sure you can kind of work around that. Like, I think if I was to film stuff like that again, flying purely from behind gives me the best chance of not crashing. It's usually when it is trying to overtake you or is going sideways that it's not quite concentrating entirely on where it's going. That's probably the one major flaw I can find with the drone. Besides that though, it is a very good little drone, very beginner friendly, really easy to take off and use, does exactly what it says on the tin. You aren't going to break it from crashing it, and it does kind of just perform as you would expect it to. Comes in at £350 for the Fly More or $210 for just the drone itself, which is actually really, really good value for what you're getting for it. If you are looking for a drone to follow you around and capture what you're doing in various locations, works really, really well for that, and the price point I'd say is probably about where it needs to be. Now, I actually think I will get quite a bit of good use out of this drone for filming running and cycling, maybe even when we're out hiking, taking photos. It's actually really, really easy. When there's times when you want to film yourself doing stuff, but you don't want to have a controller in your hand, really, really good for that. And I imagine that the more use you get from it, the more comfortable you are with different tracking angles and the different settings, and you'd really be able to dial in those, you know, the setup and get the exact kind of content you are wanting every time. Really pleased with it actually, and I'm looking forward to what I can capture in the future with it. Now I know this video has been a little bit different to usual with this much more sort of tech review type video, but I wanted to give you a real hands-on experience of how this drone performs and what it does. If you enjoyed this and you want to see more videos like this, let me know. I'm more than happy to start doing more gear review and product review type stuff, especially when it's something that I think I will get a lot of use out of myself. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you on the next one, whatever that might be.